Yeah, so how do you get to know a neighbour? How do you get to know somebody who is different to you? It's a really important question, because it's all very well to be there, but actually if relationships don't develop, and if we haven't got, I guess, the openness to interact with and learn from somebody who's different to us, then that relationship's not going to be built. And probably the impact that we might have will be really quite small. It's a hugely important thing. I think we have to go in with an attitude that we're there to learn. Happily, in the world of international development, Britain, amongst other countries, have kind of graduated away from this thought that, hey, we go and we make things better. We tell them how to live their lives. We sort things out for them, and then we come back. When you talk to anybody who's been away on a mission trip to, to build a school in Africa or something like that, and the thing that everybody says is, we learned so much more, we received so much more than we were ever able to give. Because while we may be, richer in resource and technology and finance, a lot of those folks are much richer in faith and hope and community and loyalty, and miracles. And so there's this mutual transformation happens. So we have that language, and gradually, we're trying to empower people now rather than tell them to live like us in the West, because we've really got it sorted. We really want to be telling folks in Southeast Asia, in the slums of Bangkok, where the way you want to live is to get an iPad and a PlayStation 2, and that's really the healthiest way for you to live. No, do you know what I mean? So happily, in the world of international development, we're stopping trying to make people like us, But I believe in our work in the UK, we're still slightly stuck in that kind of paternalistic mindset, that we don't actually think that there's anything for us to learn. That when we arrive in a new community and people are not like us, maybe it's a poorer community, maybe it's a working class community, maybe it's a community where actually nobody's working, and we think, all right, we're here to sort this out, rather than thinking, we're here to learn. Actually, there's so much to learn. We have learned so much from our community in terms of integrity and honesty and loyalty, and a sense of pride and a sense of place and a sense of family that actually you just would never see in other communities. We've learned so much from that. Now, there's plenty of things that we've encountered that we've gone, oh crumbs, that's shocking as well. It's not like you're walking in blind to it, but I think you have to come in the expectation of that mutual transformation to happen. And so I guess that's the spirit that we've been trying to have people around for dinner to learn from and just tell stories. It's great to get people telling stories. It's a great way to get to know people. If you're worried about meeting people that you've never met before, ask stories about their family, ask stories about where they come from, ask people why they've ended up where they are. It's amazing once you get people just come alive when they start telling you their stories and they start owning their story. And a really special thing happens when they know that you've heard their story. When somebody knows that they've been heard as a person, not as part of a project, that you're helping them with food or you're helping them with something else. When somebody knows that they've been heard, it's the most beautiful thing, and that can be the starting point for a relationship, And so I guess that's been a key thing for us, is just listening, rather than saying, hey, this is what we're here to do. Just listening. And I think that's the way Jesus ministered to people. He asked people what they wanted, and he listened, and he always involved them in whatever happened. And whether it's the mat, whether it's hitting the guy on the mat or whether it's mud in the eyes, he always involved them somehow in what he did. He didn't do stuff to people. He asked them what they wanted, then he did stuff with them. I guess that's what we're hoping to do, to see, we're getting people involved in little bits of gardening and little bits of cleaning the block and, doing stuff with our neighbours rather than doing it to them. So that's not to say that relationship building's easy across different cultures. We've had loads of culture clash moments where, we just can't, it's just totally strange to us the way somebody's living or acting or working, whether that's because they're from a different country or whether that's because just it seems to be a different set of values at play. There's been loads of moments where that's just gone, and we miss each other. But to be honest, it just takes time. It just takes time for us gradually to find each other and meet in the middle somewhere. It takes patience. It takes to be around. A lot of folks who live in estates like our estate are very used to people just coming in and leaving again. And sadly, a lot of Christians have done that in the last little while as well. They've got really enthusiastic, fired up, and then arrived and then been gone again. And I think people knowing that you're there for the long haul is really important in terms of building trust, in terms of building relationship.